You might be wondering, what is the best weight loss plan for diabetics? Let's go through that in this video. Coming up, we are going to talk about what is diabetes and what are the different types of diabetes. And then we'll go through, why do people think that weight loss is difficult for diabetics? And then we'll go through, what is the best weight loss plan for diabetics? So more than likely, if you're watching this video, you know what diabetes is. You have a basic understanding what diabetes is. Although I've met plenty of people who actually have diabetes and they still don't really know what it is. So let me give you a very simplified definition of diabetes. Diabetes is the body's ability to deal with blood sugar fluctuations when that is impaired. Okay, do you get that? If I have a normal functioning pancreas, I don't have any problems in this area, but someone who has a pancreas that is not functioning correctly, they're not going to be able to deal with blood sugar fluctuations. That's impaired. And why is that important? Well, the pancreas secretes insulin, and insulin is a vital hormone. See, when you eat anything, it doesn't matter what it is, your blood sugar goes up. It doesn't have to be sugar that you eat. Your blood sugar goes up with anything you eat, and that's dangerous. So the pancreas secretes insulin, which is a hormone, to bring the blood sugars down. Insulin unlocks the cell and allows the sugar to get out of the bloodstream and into the cell where it's then used for energy. So when blood sugar stays in the bloodstream, that's when you can get very sick and you can die. So the blood sugar needs to get out of the bloodstream and into the cell. That's what insulin's job is. You need insulin. You just don't need very much, and you don't need it for very long. A small amount for a short amount of time. When insulin is present, you need to know that the fat-burning hormones cannot work. That's why you can't lose weight in the presence of insulin. You guys have heard me say that in every video. You cannot lose weight in the presence of insulin. So when insulin is present, glucagon and epinephrine and norepinephrine and the other fat-burning hormones are turned off. You cannot burn fat. Like when the standard American diet tells us you need to eat 3 meals and 2 snacks. You're eating all day long for 12 hours and you got insulin in the blood all day long. You can't burn fat. Who wants that? Because we all want to burn a little bit of fat. I don't know anybody here who doesn't want to get a little bit leaner. Come on, even me. There are 3 types of diabetics. The first type is pre-diabetes. And unfortunately, I'm sad to report this number, but you need to know 2/3 of America is pre-diabetic. Yes, over 200 million people in this country are pre-diabetic, which is a big red flag, a big warning sign. And you might be asking, well, Cristy, how do they even know that? Well, they have an A1C between 5.7 and 6.4. Why is that significant? Because the hemoglobin A1C test measures how much sugar is coating the red blood cell over the course of 3 months. And that is a huge number right there, because that tells the endocrinologist what you've been doing when ain't nobody looking. Because anybody can get their fasting glucose down. The fasting glucose, it fluctuates minute to minute. That's not the whole picture. But a hemoglobin A1C is a much more clear snapshot of how you've been living your life day to day and what you've been eating. So you're gonna wanna get that A1C under 5.7. That is one of the 5 markers of metabolic health, having an A1C under 5.7. Remember that. Prediabetes is 100% diet and lifestyle driven, which means you caused this. Yes. You caused this. I don't want to shame anybody here. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to make you hate me or turn off this video. Don't do that. But you need to understand that this is 100% what you shoved in your pie hole. You're in this spot because of the choices that you made. But the great news is you can get out of this spot by making other choices, and we'll talk about those choices later on in the video. Type 2 diabetic is when your A1C is even higher, above 6.4, and your pancreas is now having a real hard time keeping up with the demand that you are putting on it. Yes, you are putting on it. Now, I need you to understand here, as much as you would like to blame your grandma on this, you did not inherit diabetes from your grandma. You didn't inherit diabetes from anybody. That's not how diabetes is. You don't catch it. Okay, you can't wear a mask and not, no. It's 100% lifestyle choices driven, 100% diet okay? So if you have type 2 diabetes, although this can be 100% controlled by lifestyle and diet, most people choose not to. And they need to have some sort of medication like glucophage or like metformin, usually a pill, to help control their diabetes. And the third type of diabetes is type 1 diabetes. This is a rare condition that a person is born with. They didn't do anything to deserve this. They didn't do anything to cause this. They didn't get this from their parents. It's nobody's fault. It's just that their pancreas produces zero insulin. And type 1 diabetics will need to have exogenous insulin through injectable insulin for the rest of their lives. And even though we don't deal with a lot of type 1 diabetics on the Code Red lifestyle, they can still greatly benefit from the rest of the information in this video. So if you know of a type 1 diabetic or any diabetic, share this video with them. Before I go any further, I want to hear from you, and I want you to comment below and tell me, have you struggled losing weight because you're a diabetic? Or you know somebody who has struggled losing weight and they just blame it on their diabetes. Well, I got the diabetes, I can't lose weight. Because this video is definitely for them, but I want to hear your story, so comment below and tell me what's going on with you. A lot of people think that you can't lose weight or you can't lose weight as well if you're diabetic, and that is simply not true. That's like someone saying, oh, you can't lose weight because you've gotten, you're in your 70s or something. No. That is simply not true. Now, somebody who's making poor diet choices, somebody who's going through the freaking Arby's drive-through, somebody who's having a caramel macchiato and cake pop 4 times a week on their way to work, yeah, that's someone who's going to have a hard time losing weight because it's going to require so much insulin to bring the blood sugar down when you eat those kinds of crap food. So why do diabetics have a hard time losing weight? It's not what you think. It's not because they're diabetic. It's because they're choosing to eat crap food. They don't have any more of a difficult time losing weight than I do or than other people that have a normal functioning pancreas. You need to understand, it's not a get out of jail free card for them that they can just lean on and say, well, that's my problem, that's my excuse. No, that's not how this works. They choose to eat crap food. That's gonna require them to give themselves a lot of insulin. That's the problem. The problem is when they give themselves a ton of insulin, and to go even further beyond that, they're giving themselves a ton of insulin because they made a crappy food choice. Whether I make a crappy food choice and my body needs a ton of insulin to bring it down, or a diabetic made a crappy food choice and their body needs a ton of insulin to bring it down, it's the same thing. So just because you're diabetic doesn't mean that you're gonna have a difficult time losing weight. You're gonna have to change your lifestyle and your diet just like all the rest of us have to. What is the best weight loss plan for diabetics? It is Code Red. Oh, ding, 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 big surprise. No, listen, let me tell you why it's Code Red. Because we don't eat foods that require a lot of insulin. Like, call it Code Red, call it the proper human diet. I don't care what you wanna call meat, vegetables, nuts, eggs, seeds, seafoods, or fat. I don't care what you want to call it, as long as you're eating that way if you're diabetic. You're gonna lose weight, whether you're diabetic or not, if you switch to this eating style. Again, the human diet, the species-specific diet, the food that we were designed as a species to eat. Well, that Code Red's a fad, but it's just real food. It's real food, water, and sleep. So if you get on real food and get off the granola, the croissants, the French toast, pancakes, all the crap, the never-ending pasta bowl at Olive Garden. If you get off that crap and you switch to real food, meat, vegetables, nuts, eggs, seeds, seafoods, and fat, you get in bed at a decent time, stop scrolling through Instagram till 1:30 a.m., and you actually drink at least a gallon of water a day, you're gonna lose weight, whether you're diabetic or not. You're gonna lose weight because you cannot lose weight in the presence of insulin. Therefore, let's not call up a whole bunch of insulin. That's a great idea. No matter if we're diabetic or not, we all need to eat foods that don't trigger a whole lot of insulin. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed at all this, maybe you're diabetic and you've been wanting to lose weight and you stumbled upon this video because you thought, maybe it's just another idea. I understand why you would be overwhelmed. I understand there's a ton of information out there. I mean, you can get answers on so many things with the click of a few buttons. But can I tell you that there's hope? Can I tell you that just because you're diabetic doesn't mean you're gonna have to deal with obesity the rest of your life? Just because you're diabetic doesn't mean you have to deal with chronic problems the rest of your life. You really don't. There is something that you can do. If you're pre-diabetic or you're type 2 and you're watching this, I highly recommend you get on the Code Red lifestyle. I highly recommend you join the next 10-pound takedown challenge, and let me show you for only $47. Let me show you a better way. Look, at the end of the 30 days, if you do not see a change and you followed my program perfectly and you don't see a change in your weight loss or your health, go back to eating ho-hos and SpaghettiOs. That's fine, but at least give this a shot. At least let me show you a better way. I linked it up below, 10poundtakedown.com. Join the next challenge, and I'll see you on the next video.